There's a lot of self-hating people out there, in particular self-hating people from very successful groups such as white people, in particular white women. It's quite disgusting seeing them hate themselves so much and kowtow to people who don't respect them or care about their apologies for grievances that they are not guilty of. So, I bring you today's video. I found this on the internet, of course, and in the bastion of Satanism, the bastion of weirdos, TikTok, where we have this woman talking about her experience as a half white and half Asian woman. So, without any further ado, let's get right into it.
Listen, this might be a hot take, but Asian women need to stop dating white guys. And I'm telling you this as someone who was literally created by a white man and an Asian woman. Okay, I am not.
As I stated before, a lot of people, a lot of Americans in particular, and women in particular, said that twice, have this aversion to being European. I know that there's this idea that white supremacy is a problem in America, but from what I've seen on the internet and just listening to certain people of influence talk, it seems more so that there's a lot of European self-hatred that exists in America. This is weird. I'm black, as you probably know. I don't hate myself because I'm black. I hate myself for other reasons, but not because of something that I have zero control over. You don't have control over what your genetic ancestry is. You just are what you are. Obviously, through studying history, you can take pride in certain things that groups of people within your ancestry have done. But this is weird. Let's continue.
Not judging whatsoever. I am just telling you from firsthand experience, it causes problems. Because growing up mixed, it was fun until it wasn't. Because when you're a kid, you're like, oh my God, I hit the genetic lottery. Because people would always come up and ask me, like, what are you? Making me feel special, like I was a rare Pokemon card. Okay, and then I also got the best of both worlds of each culture. So my dad would take me tailgating, blasting country music, while my mom would bring me to Japanese school every Saturday, learning hiragana, eating bento boxes.
All right. So, uh your first statement, as a kid I hit the genetic lottery? What kind of what kind of kid are you? I was a kid once. Some might argue I still have the mentality of one, but that's neither here nor there. I have never encountered a child in my life that's like, damn, I hit the 5-year-old kid in elementary school. I hit the genetic lottery. What? It's such a that sounds very that sounds like some racist shit. You ask me. I've never in my life have I ever encountered that or thought that. Let's continue.
It was East meets West, rice cooker meets barbecue. But this was the big issue. Okay, being the byproduct of the Oxford study, like beautiful Asian woman meets mid-white guy, that dynamic.
Whoa, hold on. She just talked shit about her father. Again, if her father was black, I guarantee if she had the same mentality and if she was raised in a similar fashion, she would not say this. But because her father is white, she just dissed him low key. She just said, "Hey, pops, fuck you, big bro. You you ugly as shit." That's what she just said to her pops, her father. I feel bad for him. This is your daughter. You raised her with love and care. I'm assuming because she's not talking like egregious about the nigga, but she's sneak dissing him. This your daughter saying, fuck nigga, kind of mid though. Let's continue.
Bleeds into every aspect of your life, especially relationships. But honestly, Nothing in life could have prepared me for this. Okay, when I was 12 years old, my dad and I just finished dinner with our extended family. And it wasn't at like a McDonald's or an Olive Garden. It was like a fancy restaurant for a 12-year-old. You know, like Cheesecake Factory level fancy, where they had dim lighting,
Oh my
warm
God.
bread,
Get to
and
the
it just made
fucking
you feel grown
point,
as soon as
dude.
you walked in there. And I
Fucking
remembered I like
meandering
curled my
asshole.
hair, wore my fancy fake leather jacket I got from Target, while my dad pulled out his good polo, like the one that he only brought out when he needed to look presentable. And as we're leaving the restaurant, my dad is holding my hand walking around the street as any dad would. But this is where things get weird. Okay? My dad is not a very tall man. Like he might be 5'8" on a good day, and that's being generous.
That's normal. And most niggas are 5'8". Most niggas are probably even short. Most niggas are 5'8". Come on. Stop sneak dissing big bro. You know, I hate niggas who like shit on their parents. I really don't like that. Unless you have terrible parents, I don't give a fuck. But I don't, just in general, as a modus operandi, I don't like children who talk bad about their parents. That bothers me a lot.
And when I was 12, I was quite tall for my age because I hit my growth spurt early. So I guess from behind, maybe from a distance, we might have looked like two adults holding hands. Because we were waiting at the crosswalk, you know, hand in hand, minding our business, when this random white woman turned to us and goes, "Wow, you guys make a beautiful couple." Girl, the way my hand literally teleported out of my dad's, like it was burning me, and me and my dad just look at each other like, what the fuck did this woman just say? Couple? So we speed walked to the car, just sat there in silence. Okay, the air in that car was so freaking heavy. And my dad finally goes like, "That woman was so weird. I can't believe she said that."
All right, so wait, hold on. The story of a stranger making a mistake and assuming that you were older than you actually are because you were tall, apparently, holding your father's hand and mistaking and thinking that you were a couple is indicative of being half white and half Japanese? What? A stranger mistaking you to be older than you are because you're holding hands with a man and you were tall is the reason why interracial couples shouldn't exist, why white men shouldn't date Asian women. The logic of woman. The fuck? This does not make any sense. Am I tripping here? Y'all have to let me know. Am I tripping here? Because I don't see the correlation between this situation and the awkwardness that apparently you niggas felt and the condemnation of interracial relationships between white men and Asian women.
And we never talked about it again. It was like we both immediately locked it in the family trauma vault. But that moment haunted the both of us. And the thing is, that was even the worst of it. The worst of it happened 12 years later. I'm 25 now, and my brother had a kid, my nephew Oliver, and he's like the cutest little happy boy you've ever seen. Big chubby cheeks, big eyes, soft brown hair.
Get to the
So
point.
whenever I had time, I'd tag along with my dad, dropping him off at preschool. And this kind of became our little routine. Like my dad, Ollie, and I all holding hands, like the cutest 3-person chain you've ever seen. So this one morning, we're walking him up to the preschool entrance, and it's like this sunny day. I'm in a big hoodie with leggings. Ollie has his dinosaur backpack, and my dad is just looking like a dad. Okay, so this day, there happened to be a substitute teacher because I guess his normal teacher was on
Bro,
maternity
get
leave.
to the point.
And she introduces
just
herself,
fucking
all
meandering.
smiles, looking at us in our 3-person chain, and goes, Oh my god, it is so nice to meet you. You guys must be Ollie's parents. Must? Must? Like, I literally felt my soul leave my body.
Okay, so situation two, a similar thing to the first one, is that a stranger mistake your relationship with your father as one of being a couple, and while you're walking together in a middle school. I'm assuming this nigga looks he's in good shape. He looks normal. So shout out to Pops. You have a little child with you. You're walking into school. Why wouldn't the assumption be that you're a couple? And also, to call it back to the original point that she was trying to make, and the assertion that she was trying to make, the ought statement, the ought claim she made. How does this mean that interracial sexual relationships between white men and Asian women are bad because somebody made a mistake? You do know that sometimes that happens, right? Sometimes siblings get confused for a couple. That happens. Sometimes friends get confused for being a couple. That happens. But how is this situation indicative of the alt claim of white men shouldn't be with Asian women? I'm so confused how this works. I think, tell me if I'm wrong or not, but I think that this woman is racist and I think she hates herself. I think I think she hates the fact that her Japanese mom wanted some of that wanted some of that purple, if you know what I'm talking about. She wanted some of that Caucasian rocket. That's what she wanted. Cuz I see no other reason as to why any of these scenarios that she's laid out would indicate her first statement.
Like, I had a full neurological shutdown. Okay, and we were too stunned to speak, which ended up being the worst possible thing we could have done.
You can just defuse the situation by saying, no, this is my daughter. Oh my, I didn't know. I'm sorry. You just look so young. That's probably what the situation would have ended as. But I think this bitch is like, she has to be on the spectrum. Because this is not a situation that requires this level of fucking like this level of a response. It makes no sense to me. She has to be on the spectrum and she needs to be put in some type of observation lab or something, because this doesn't make any sense to me. How you could jump from awkward situations because of a misunderstanding or a misidentification to uh reinstate misogyny laws, make interracial marriage illegal. How do you jump from that to that because of mistaken identity?
Because not even a few days later, it was all these preschools like Christmas performance type thing. You know, the kind where like they push together three tables and call it a stage, and all the kids are wearing like polyester itchy costumes. So our whole family came to support him. And we're sitting in this tiny like old auditorium, and all his class comes on wearing these red and green sweaters, singing jingle bells off key, but it's adorable because they are basically feral. But then the teachers start handing out awards. Okay, these are not real awards. This is like participation on steroids. Like best smile, best wiggle, most improved in standing still. It's one of those type of schools, right? I'm like, okay, cute, whatever. But they call out Ollie's name for winning the best backpack. I don't even know. Like, I guess his dinosaur backpack slayed harder than the other kids. But then the teacher decides this is the perfect opportunity to shout out his parents and starts gesturing to me and my dad. Me and my dad. And we're doing the most frantic, like, no, 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 no. These are his real parents, pointing at my brother and his wife. Okay, and she just thinks we're being shy, so she insists that we stand up so the entire crowd can acknowledge that we raised the best backpack champion.
What the fuck does this have to do with anti-miscegenation, which is what you're advocating for, Wasian lady? Mistaken identity, What the hold on, hold on, hold on. If this, I'm not even paying attention because she's like boring to listen to and like meandering about dumb shit. If this is the same situation where you were taking him to elementary school or whatever, or if you said you did that frequently, so I'm assuming there would be like Nick, they're probably not talking to you. They just see you dropping off the little nigga Oliver. So if these people, in passing, see you, they will make some type of connection with you being the mother of this child, and you coming in with a man. It's if you would if you would have just corrected them and just said, "No, I'm this little nigga's aunt, and this is my dad." What is the fucking problem? This is she's so racist. I'm confused about awkward situations means anti-miscegenation. Shout out to racism. This makes no sense, bro. Oh, hey, the parents come up and gesturing towards you. How about the parents just stand up and like it's not a fucking situation? What the fuck? She has you're embellishing this story, man. This seems like you're creating false trauma that you're dealing with because this makes no fucking logical sense whatsoever. You must be on the spectrum because you're making these social situations seem like more of a taxing experience than they actually are. And I understand as a person who in his teenage years, you're a fucking adult though, and so am I. In his teenage years, and I think like a lot of us, I dealt with I dealt with, you know, weird social situations, not being able to react in the way that I want to, or reacting in a not so good way. I understand that. But there are easy fixes to this by, being normal, which is what you should have done, and not take that situation and advocate for anti-miscegenation. You sound like a nigga from another side of the world who had facial hair that was shaped in a certain way because one little situation didn't go his way. So then you implement this this fucking regime change because you couldn't say, nah, this is my dad. All of this could have been fixed by saying, nah, this is Pops and this is my little nephew. Let's continue.
When things just like go a little bit too far, that you just can't do anything about it but go with it. So me and my dad start standing up very awkwardly, slowly, like we're walking to our death sentence.
Unless she's drop my shit. God damn it. I'm so excited. Unless she's lying. Cause didn't she just say that the parents were there? Why wouldn't unless she's making up propaganda in order to promote anti-miscegenation? Didn't you say that your brother and his chick were there? Why wouldn't they just stand up instead of you and your Are you lying right now? Are you lying to me right now? Cause I'm not the smartest nigga and I'm not the strongest cigarette in the carton, but I'm not weed. I'm not stupid. I'm not dumb. Are you lying to me right now, half Asian lady? Are you lying to me right now? Because logically, this doesn't make any sense. This seems like false trauma to me. The fuck? this makes no sense. If your brother's there, why wouldn't he just stand up? Huh? What the fuck?
But that's when it happens. Okay? God bless my little nephew and his 4-year-old unfiltered brain, because he starts yelling, "That's not my mommy and daddy. That's my grandpa and auntie." Thank God the performance was over.
Your nephew retarded? Why you sound like that? I'm sorry.
And the teacher comes running over to us, apologizing. She looks like she wants to disappear. And we tell her it's fine, when it absolutely was not fine. Okay? Because the performance might have been over, but our painful night, was just getting started. Because immediately after that traumatizing event, we had to go to a family dinner. So we get to the restaurant, just Japanese place, and it is so awkward because no one knows what to say. Okay,
I think either this is a lie, right? Either this is a lie, or your family is like fucking like y'all are weird as fuck already. What is up? What? The first should I yes, let's do it. Let's bring it back. Fucking reclaiming my time. The first incident could have just been like, "No, this is my daughter. She's kind of tall, huh? Yeah, I know. That's the first incident in with you and your dad when you were 12. The second incident, oh no, this is my nephew and this is my dad. Squashed like that. The third incident, which seemed like a made up scenario because you said that your brother was there. Why wouldn't he just stand up when the teacher was pointing out to the parents to come up? And now this? Y'all can't just laugh this shit off. Ha ha ha. Ha ha, I am the dad. I am kind of young. I am good looking, ain't I? I'm kind of young, ain't I? They say I look fucking 30. You couldn't just laugh that shit. This is either she's lying, and also her nephew's voice was retarded. Either she's lying, or this is the most awkward family you've ever fucking met in your life. Because this shit seems absurd.
it felt like we should have done like a family trauma debrief. And my brother, being the comic relief of the family that he is, starts cracking jokes immediately, saying to me, my dad, like, how does it feel being the mother and father of the best backpack winner? And then everyone starts laughing and the ice is broken. But even though everyone's joking now, I, for some reason, still feel guilty. Like, in a weird way, this was all my fault. So there was no way I was letting anyone pay for my meal, especially my father. So I do the classic Asian move.
What?
Like, I say I'm going to the washroom, but secretly pay for everyone's meal. And when I get back, my brother was like, bro, I was going to do that. I was like, no, it's fine. I just got like this payout this morning from these class action lawsuit things.
We don't give a
Shout out,
fuck.
pay me because you really got my back when I need you to.
We don't give a fuck.
But we all leave the restaurant and my dad offers me a ride. But I say no because I just need to think. I need fresh air. I need to reset my brain.
The fuck?
But as I'm walking, all I could think.
You talking like he did something to you, actually. Cause now you got me questioning something else about Pops. Why would... What? No. It's just too awkward right now. They might catch on to us. What? Hold on. What? I wasn't sussing out Pops. I was thinking that you was the weird... And I was just thinking y'all was a weird family, but... Y'all got some flowers in the attic action going on? Like, what are we doing? What's happening here?
Think about was how wild it is that it's become so common for young Asian women to be dating older white men. So common that like random strangers on the street think fathers and daughters are couples. Like that's how deep the fetishizing runs and the stereotype is and the assumptions run.
What the fuck does this have to do with fetishes? Mistaken identity has to do with
And I'm not saying I am anti-interracial marriage because my whole like existence disproves that, but society gets so weird about it and so creepy about it that the rest of our mixed kids are out here dealing with the aftermath forever. And honestly, I still think about that moment with my dad in the car, speechless, like we were mourning something we couldn't name. And the moral of the story is that being mixed is amazing until someone opens their mouth.
Okay, so moral of the story is you're retarded and awkward. This situation does not necessitate you being the enforcement arm for anti-miscegenation. This makes no sense. So, because of the situations that you were in, those 3 situations, or 4 if you count the restaurant, those situations that you were in of mistaken identity because your father probably looks young, and I'm assuming you look different enough from him because you're half Asian, he's European, very different gene pools we're dealing with here. What this means, because of that all racially mixed children have bad experiences. And bro, I'm trying to formulate some type of logical conclusion to this, some type of smart thing to say, but this shit is just retarded and stupid.
Salute to the white man in the utmost. I can't, you know.
To the car, bro.
I can't do nothing but salute the white man, man. You the greatest, my nigga.
Good job, bro.
No, you the greatest, man. The white man is the greatest, man. Hi, Hitler, take that, nigga. Y'all the greatest. I ain't never seen nothing like it.